Hi, my name is Kjartandottir. I'm an Icelandic artist. I come from Reykjavik. I'm presenting my newest exhibition, my first solo exhibition in London. It's called SHAREDFUTURE. In the first room we have the sheeps. This is the same. It has the same name, SHAREDFUTURE, as the show. And where you can see this sheep, before they're dragged to the slaughterhouse and killed. Like, in my mind, it's also about us as humans. I pick pictures where you can see how human they are in a way. How you can see them kind of gather and seek for the warmth or security of each other, while the insecurity about what's going to happen, they have no idea, and you can see how frightened they are. And then you have the next series, Girl, which is a 5-piece series as well, of a sleeping girl. But to begin with, you might be shocked, you think it's a dead child, but when you look closer, you'll see that this girl, she grows, her hair grows and her figure changes. Her teeth has fallen out and she has grown-up teeth in the last one. But this series, in this series, I want to explore life and death and why we are so afraid of the death. But this series was, the idea came from the old death photographs I found in Iceland, where, because people had very many children, they live very spread, like very, just in the country. You couldn't go take your children to a portrait photographer. But when a child died, the people, they called for a photographer to come and take a picture of the dead child. They kept it, and they made everything perfect. The hair, they even put flowers around on the pillow. But they wanted the picture to remind them of the child, because they didn't have any photographs or anything. But of course, in the end, you see these photographs, and it will only remind you of death. Well, the first series you'll see when you come into the second space is clearly remote, which are the pictures I took in my neighbor house in Easter 2007 in Kulusuk. It was very shocking. I came in and everything was covered in snow, but still all the possessions of the people that lived there were still there. It was just quite weird. I went in there very spooky, because everything was just in place. There was this sewing machine, like someone had been sewing, and just snow over everything, and a beer bottle still on the table, still standing. So, yeah. The next 4, you will see 4 smaller pictures, where I wanted to describe both in. I have 2 pictures from the summer series and 2 pictures from the winter series, where you'll see the kiosk, the candy store, with the polar bear candy store, and you'll see a stroller walking on his street, and you'll see a group of Eskimo children and their sled, and you'll see a nature, and in the foreground you'll see crosses. Well, this series stands together because I try to show what is dying. The summer trip to Kulusuk 2006 was so different from the winter trip 2007, because I don't know, but everything seemed more, I don't know, it didn't seem, you didn't see the romantic kind of ideal Kulusuk, everything covered in snow and the sled dogs and the typical kind of, you know, the picture you would imagine. It's everything because people in the winter, there's no one to take the garbage, so they just throw the garbage out of the window. And there's snow over it, and everything gets very clean and white. But when it starts melting and the summer comes, and it's just, I think it's just like late summer when there's no snow in certain parts, and then you can see the garbage is just floating like a river towards the sea. And it must be very bad for the, you know, for the nature and for the life in the sea, probably, to have all this garbage just floating from the village to the sea. So I thought it's quite shocking, and also you can see it's like all the icebergs are melting. It's really, it's not the nicest view you want to see of the, you know, typical Eskimo village in the summer, but in the winter everything is so clean because of the snow. I was walking from the village towards the airport on my last day. I was going home, and you know, it's so deserted. But then you meet these two young boys, you know, eating crisps, you know, on the way, and start chatting to them, because I'm Icelandic, and my second language is Danish, and their second language is Danish as well, because they are under the Danish government. And I found out that they were brothers, and the older one was taking care of the younger one, because it's likely the parents are alcoholics, like a lot of people in Kulusuk, where there's not much work to have, and very few people have boats, so they can have their income from fishing and catching seal. The year later I went in Easter, and I went to give all the people the pictures that I'd taken of them, because I promised to do that. And I couldn't find this boy, so I started asking about him, and I couldn't see him because he was dying then. And then I realized it's surreal, because he looks so strong and healthy compared to his younger brother, and the one who takes care of his brother, and probably the household as well, I suppose. But I named this picture The Guardian, because I think it's very appropriate.